Hello traders, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, every single weekend I break down everything that happened in the market last week, what's going on behind the scenes, and most importantly, what's on watch for the week ahead. So last week we had a massive run in the whole market, all-time highs across the board, oil crushing, the war de-escalation, and finally, as a result, we had a lot of opportunities. For the week ahead, we have a lot of earnings planned. So let's get into it. Let's start with S&P 500, which it hit 7,100 as you can see. And this is basically the all-time high, the new all-time high on S&P 500 for the first time ever above 7,000. NASDAQ or QQQ ETFs, doesn't really matter, up 5.2%. It had 13 straight winning days, and this is the longest since 1992. The Dow up 4.1%, and the Russell 2000 up 5.8%. VIX is actually dropping, and it's right around this 17.5%. Basically, fear is gone. And oil finally actually did crash, and it's down 11% and since Friday actually, and it's at around this $83-84, and 10-year treasury yield down to 4.24%. This is the best week of the S&P 500 since May 2025. Now, what's driving this whole crazy volatile market and the whole market being at all-time high? The first one is basically the Q1 earnings that we had, and Q1 earnings tracking 12.5% earning per share growth, 6 straight double-digit quarters so far. Banks led the way, obviously, in the last week, a week of April 13th. JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Citi, and Wells Fargo all beat at their earnings. We had March CPI and came out hot, 3.3% year over year, and gas up 21% because of Iran war basically issue and effect. And Fed rates at 3.5 to 3.75%, just stuck there. And Powell's term, by the way, expires in May. And on the geopolitical side, the war is still continuing technically. So a brief analysis here. On February 28th, US and Israel struck Iran, and Iran closed the Strait of Hormuz. Oil spiked to 110%. On April 8th, Pakistan brokered as 2-week ceasefire, and oil crashed 16% in one day. Then on April 17th, Trump announced Israel-Lebanon 10-day ceasefire started, and Iran declared Strait of Hormuz is completely open. Now, U.S. Navy blockade still active, and actual tanker traffic is still very slow, and full supply normalization could take up to 6 months. Now, the market somehow priced the perfect peace scenario and pushed the price all the way higher, while the reality on the ground is a little bit more messy. In the weekend, what happened? In the weekend, Trump said US-Iran talk would probably happen this weekend. It's not confirmed yet, but we'll see. The ceasefire expires on Tuesday, April 21st. Okay, this is the first risk for the market potentially. And the Monday market will be open, and we're going to see the effect of all of these news in the weekend on the pre-market, and when the market opens on S&P and NASDAQ and many other names probably. Now let's talk about the week ahead. On the economic calendar side, on Tuesday we have core retail sales and retail sales month over month, and that would be the main critical economic event, and also the Fed chair testify, and that would be the main critical market mover on the economic calendar side. We do have some less important economic events on Thursday and Friday as well. On the earnings side for the week ahead, we have United Health, UNH, GE, and 3M, some of the interesting names on watch for Tuesday before the market open. On Wednesday, we have Tesla, which is going to be very important for a lot of traders and the market. Boeing, AT&T, and we have Intel, and that would be pretty much PG as well, would be another important name on watch for the week ahead if you want to focus on earning plays. So the major events on watch for the week ahead would be Iran ceasefire and Tesla earning potentially for a lot of traders. Now, with that being said, let's get into the technicals and analyze the S&P 500 first, and then I will go over some other individual names. By the way, this is the way we analyze the market every single pre-market, and then I analyze S&P 500, NASDAQ, and some individual stocks, and analyze their action, plan for trading these names, and then when the market opens, we trade live with the community and trade that plan all together. If you want to join, you can join us at a limited time 7-day free trial. Try it out, join us, trade with us. We had 50%, 60%, 100% return on investment trades in the last week, trading Tesla, trading AMD, trading Microsoft, and SPY. So with that being said, if you want to join, you can check out the link in the description below. Let's start with S&P 500. Now, I will go over SPY. It's S&P 500's ETF, but the whole price action is not quite different from ES or S&P 500 futures or just S&P 500 index SPX. It would be quite the same. What happened in the whole market? We had this massive run after the ceasefire news. We had a gap up, if you can see, in April 7th and 8th. And then after that, this gap never got filled. The price just went straight up with continuous gap up and continuations, gap up, continuations, gap up and continuations. And the previous all-time high was around this 698 on SPY. And now what's happening is a possible continuation, at least so far, depending on the news and events that happen for the week ahead. As I said, on Wednesday, the ceasefire basically ends, and that will be another catalyst for the whole market. We'll see how the market will react to the potential news related to end of ceasefire or any kind of other news that might come out. But so far, SPY is holding super strong, forming higher lows. It's obviously a little bit really overextended. I'm not going to judge the price action on the market because we can't really technically predict anything as traders, as investors. But what we can do is to just see how the price is moving. Now, this is a little bit irrational. It's very emotional price action on S&P 500 because the market just took it as a massive positive news after the whole ceasefire news, right? But technically, this is not really normal price action, and a lot of traders, investors, they know it. But we'll see if this is going to be continuing or it will be die down in case of the war continuation. With that being said, what's happening right now is a hold of this 698 by SPY after break, which clearly shows that this 698 level is clearly being held by the buyers and the demand is there. We even continued bouncing above this level and gapped up, and after gap up we even continued pushing higher on Friday, April 17th on SPY. So far we are at all-time highs, and the critical area on watch for the week ahead or for Monday would be probably around this 712-ish level. But it highly depends on the pre-market action, so that will probably give us a clear direction whether we should trade long or short on SPY. To the downside, this 708, 709 zone held so far on SPY, so that would be our critical point. keep that in mind, that this 706 level get broken, we have a gap all the way down till 702.67, right? So we have lots of gaps if the price pulls back. Now the price cannot just go all the way up non-stop. We need to pull back. We can't have just continuous gap up and continuation, gap up and continuation. The price needs to consolidate. The price needs to make higher lows, right? Because at one point we're gonna see the buyers sell their position, or a catalyst will come out and push the price back down. So keep that in mind. Don't get FOMO. Don't try to jump into the trades. Don't be those kind of traders or investors who buy at the top. Don't do that. You need to wait for the price to at least pull back down till at least 697.8. It should, and it will ultimately pull back down, but we'll see when. Okay, it's just about when. The fact is that we can't just have this massive run forever. Okay, the time, I don't know, but the fact that it will pull back down, it will. Qs, well, all-time high was around this 638 on QQQ. What happened? We broke it and retested clearly and then bounced back up, meaning the buyers are taking control here and technically are present. The demand is there and push the price all the way higher. And then on Friday, after the gap up, Qs continued pushing higher, which again confirms the strength of buyers. The same scenario, we are really overextended. Now, an overextended price action can get more overextended, but it will ultimately pull back down. I'm not saying this week the price will pull back down. I'm not saying this week the price will go up. That's not my job. Me as a trader, I will analyze the market. I will plan for whatever happens, whether the price goes up or down, and then I will trade according to the price action whenever that is present, right? That's what I do. Now, I don't want to sit here and predict anything because that doesn't work. That won't make me money. I will be prepared so that if the price goes higher, I can take advantage of it and go long and trade calls and make money. If the price pulls back down, I can go short, I can trade puts and make money. It really doesn't matter for me as a trader. That's why I don't want to have a bias of like, no, the price should go down. And if I do that, I will technically miss any possible bullish move that might happen in the market. So I don't want to do that. And I want to be present and take advantage of whatever happens in the market. All right. With that being said, let's talk about some individual names very quick. First, Tesla. Tesla was insane last week. We caught this massive move, actually a part of it, not the whole move. This was insane. And we caught this drop on Thursday, and we caught this breakout of this 399 on Friday. So back-to-back trades, amazing setups, all live in the community. This was amazing week on a Tesla's price action and a lot of other names because the volatility was to the roof. So if you're not trading, please start trading because you're missing out on a lot of opportunities and a lot of basically money if you're not trading. Okay, so with that being said, Tesla actually broke out of this 399. Now, this 399 was a very important zone. It's a massive historical resistance zone. Now, seems like for now it's acting as a support. And if you see, we have this 200 SMA right at this 399 zone as well. Now, as you can see, we tried to hit these zones once in Wednesday. We couldn't push back down. The bid was there. We tried again in the pre-market on Thursday. We couldn't hold this level, push back down. The bid and demand held around this 380. Finally, we pushed higher in the pre-market. We couldn't. The price pushed back down. When the market opened, finally we broke out of this zone with a clean price action and hit this 410 level and then consolidated. So far what we're seeing is this resistance zone that the price couldn't break out of now became a demand zone, and the price is technically bouncing off, which gives us a very good confirmation of possible potential continuation on this price action on Tesla if it keeps holding above this 399 400 ish level. Now it wholly depends on the price action on the overall market and the war and everything else that I mentioned as well. So next week, definitely Tesla on watch. Nvidia, absolutely amazing price action, a massive run for multiple days in a row, and finally got out of this 195 resistance zone that it was stuck multiple that it was stuck for months, and rejected this area multiple times. So we have this rejection back in October 2025, another one back in November 2025, and multiple times all the way from December, January, February, and it couldn't get out of this 195 level. What happened in the last few days was a breakout of this area, a retest of this zone, and then bounce back up. Amazing price action. And what happened? We're holding above this 200 zone right now that we're in the weekend, but we'll see what happens in the pre-market tomorrow. So with that being said, we are holding super strong on Nvidia as well. The next levels would be around this 203, and then we have around this 208 resistance zone. The all-time high is around 212. So it's not really that far from the all-time high. It's a little bit far, but like it's not really. It's looking a lot better for traders to take Nvidia into their watch list and trade it, because it got out of this choppy prison area that it was stuck in for so long. Google, again, another very strong name. It was actually one of the strongest names when the market was dropping, because Google never actually broke below 200 SMA. And now it's just slowly pushing all the way higher. It's right below this massive resistance zone, very close to all-time high around this 350, and it's trying to push all the way higher above this zone. We'll see if that's going to happen or not, but my key level on watch would be this zone to see if it can break or reject. AMD was oh my god, was insane after this all-time high breakout, and we caught this one as well. On Thursday, AMD broke above this 266 267 resistance zone, which was the all-time high on AMD. The price action was insanely clean, and we broke out of this zone, and as you can see, we broke out of this zone, consolidated, and then after that we just went straight up all the way up till this 280 level, which was a massive trade. This was itself around like 60-70%. Some of the traders took around like 100, more than that percent, a return on investment trading AMD options. This was massive, and AMD is holding strongly at all-time high. So definitely on watch for the week ahead. If it pulls back down, it would be interesting. That would be the ideal setup. If it pulls back and holds around this 260-70-ish zone and bounce back up, that would be the ideal scenario on AMD for possible day trading, swing trading, whatever you want to do. That would be a very clean setup. Meta actually looked strong in the last few weeks as well, and we traded Meta by the way, I think around this Tuesday, and that was a massive breakout of this 640 level, which was a phenomenal trade there. And finally on Friday, it broke out of the 200 SMA, and which was around this 682 level, and it held right above it. So Meta definitely on watch, and I want to see it hold this zone, which is actually a demand zone right now, as we just broke above this zone on Friday and held above it. So I want to see if it can hold above this 680, 83-ish demand zone right now. And if it does, the next areas on watch would be around this $698, $700. And then we're going to just straight go all the way up till this 720 and 740 on AMD. If the market continues pushing all the way higher, that's the if scenario. Microsoft was another amazing trade. We traded Microsoft back in basically Wednesday at the break of this 393.4 level, which was another massive trade, another amazing move on Microsoft, and we caught it live in the community. This was amazing. Why? Because it was a break of this 50 SMA and a break of this 394 resistance zone at the time, and the pre-market looked really strong. The price action was super clean when the market opened, and then we caught it very well with the community. Finally, what happened is a rejection of this 432 in on Friday in Microsoft's price action, which was basically a rejection of this 100 SMA as well. So we're stuck in this range of 418 and 433. So that would be on watch for the week ahead, just in case if we break out of this zone, that would be another phenomenal trade. If it pushed back down, that would be another interesting setup, probably to the downside on Microsoft as well. So Microsoft actually does have earning on Wednesday, 29th of April. And the important earning would be for Tesla, which is on Wednesday. So if you're trading Tesla options, just keep that in mind. The option premiums will be probably a lot more expensive because of the earnings and the whole IV effect. So with that being said, this is exactly what we do every single day inside the community. We trade this plan. Basically, we plan in the pre-market, analyze the whole market, the fundamentals, the news, the economic events, the technicals, S&P 500, NASDAQ, all important tickers, individual names, the names that have potential plays like Microsoft, like Tesla, like Meta, like AMD, that we actually did trade last week. We were prepared for it. It wasn't like, oh, in the middle of the day, we trade AMD. I mentioned AMD, I mentioned Tesla, I mentioned Microsoft before the market opened for the community, and we traded it live with the team. So if you want to join us, there's a limited time 7-day free trial to join our community. Just come try it out. It's basically free for you to just test it out. This is basically a goodwill from us. We want to just invite good traders in our community so that we can all trade together and make money all together. With that being said, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, comment below. I will answer all of the comments, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next session and in the next video.